All right, so a quick portfolio update for the weekend before we look at the individual miners. Quick glimpse at the DXY, which continues to not reverse yet. I'm a bit tired there Thursday, Friday, but no red candle, no reversal, no close at low of day on a red. It's still 50-50. It could go a bit higher. I say that because if we look at yields, the 30, for example, closing at high of day, right? DXY is still sort of following yields. Yields could go a little higher just to hit this beautiful resistance, medium term descending and the horizontal, a nice big round number around 4.5, just a bit above. That's the 30-year. The 10-year will probably follow through. I mean, you could always give the excuse, but I think it's that 30-year. The two, though, pretty weak compared to the 30 and the 10. So I mean, it still could go back and retest this 4.1, but it's all about that 30. I just feel like look at that close at high of day. So maybe a bit high. Otherwise, if it goes down, then good for us metal holders. Let's jump straight into the metals, to be honest. And by the way, you have that Chinese announcement, and I mean, I haven't really looked too much into it, but it was either really late on Friday or it was on Saturday. I don't think it was during regular hours. So that stimulus announcement, big numbers, that could immediately on Monday, it doesn't really matter what the charts say, just send basically everything up, especially commodities, copper, silver, and then all the charts will look extra bullish. I say extra because gold looks good. Gold in particular, gold looks better than silver, which it has done forever. But look at this. I mean, we bounced. I could even take away this yellow. This is exactly where we bounced, isn't it? It really was that ascending. I still said if we lost this, it would just look bullish at so many levels on the drop, but it was really the first support level. I think a lot of people expected it to go down more, but very good bounce. Look at that. I mean, it's just perfect. This line was drawn in already, but it's really, really perfect. And not only that, on the bounce, but look at the close. I added this descending because it was obvious to me that this descending, I think maybe on the 15 minutes, probably where I added it on the 15. Yeah, we popped our head above it. We didn't I mean, we closed on it. It's very, very strong, very bullish. And if, come Monday, we start to move up because of the Chinese stimulus announcement, second round of bazooka, I mean, straight away, once you take out the horizontal that follows the descending, for me, these are my own words, but I'm telling you that is very strong. And gold, the trend is your friend, up, 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 new highs, straight through 2,700. And then silver, I think silver always needs that extra confirmation from gold leading it. And then silver will run. So gold, I'm not even going to talk about support. If we come back down, support will be the last low, right? And at that point, it's going to look a bit weak if we start testing this because then you've already lost the ascending, right? If you start retesting it, even if it's on Monday, one big red bar, which is impossible. I mean, you close below 2,600, you're going to go down. But I don't see that happening next week at all. So forget the support at 2,600. It's just going to be resistance around here, 2,670, whatever, 5, let's say. And then obviously the old high will be resistance. But I think if you close above this 2,675, bam, straight through 2,700, especially on a daily close. Silver doesn't look as strong, but we know it's pretty good, to be honest. It's just like one up day away from matching gold. But if it's true that the stimulus announcement is not priced in, and if gold goes straight up, silver in one day will be testing. For me, it's 32.50. It's about closing above 32.50. And of course, the total confirmation a close above 33. That's what this little wick was. It was testing 33, failing, closing, much far away, very far from the high of day. But if you close above 32.50, I'd say it's almost as good as 33, but 33 is the absolute icing on the cake. And that'll probably be like 2,700 gold. And if you got silver at 33, you have, and I know this is overused, but you have that squeeze. Support, just like 2,600 on gold, will be 30 on silver. Big round numbers for both of them. Let's look at the miners. I should really start with GDX, but GDXJ, this is interesting. The miners really did underperform the metals on Friday. I don't the markets were up, right? I don't usually cover the markets too much, but look at that. The Russell up 2%. It was a decent day. Not incredibly strong, but it was a decent day for the markets. Maybe that's why the miners didn't get that much love. I didn't really understand why. I think it was really the markets going up that much. But I tell you what, if gold and silver start to move next week, the miners will make up for it. I'm quite sure of that. They will have to make new highs to follow silver. Actually, I feel like the chart follows silver more than gold, and here you can see it. Maybe not on this candle, but overall, you know. Okay, so GDXJ, we've got resistance here, right? It was really this high over here, 50. Very obvious now that you think about it. Big round number. So GDXJ, you got 50 resistance. Let's move that up. Support will be it'll be the last low. It should really be here. I again don't see that becoming an issue. Resistance, real resistance, once we take out 50, because I really think we're going up early next week. It'll be 52, a close above 52, and we are running. We probably don't care about this. It's probably going to be straight to 56. SILJ, well, resistance now is going to be Friday's high of day. That's a bad candle. I mean, it did get a bit stronger than GDXJ, but gave back a lot, close at low of day, barely green, and that's with silver up 1%, 1.5%. It's not great, but I understand the resistance up here. This is the 32.50, $33. People who don't think we're gonna, people who are selling the top, basically, who think they're selling the top, profit takers, whatever, people who, like me, actually would nibble out just to buy back a little, swinging around their core position, maybe a bit of everything over here. But I still think that silver just pumps next week. And if we get to close above 14, might as well just say 14, a clear number. Silver above 33, SILJ above 14. I mean, you've got so much of a move coming. It's probably going to be higher. By the time silver is 33, SILJ is probably going to be, I don't know, I just feel like it's really going to outperform here because this is all green lights. So pick your number, but I think we will be above 14. If silver's at 33, I think we're going to be above 14 on SILJ. Otherwise, resistance, keep it simple. It's going to be the low from down here, right? 1250, let's say. So 1250, 1350, and 14, pretty much on SILJ. Let's look at GDX. And they all had the kind of the same candle, right? Close at low of day, but green. So, and that's where the market's really strong. That's where the metal's pretty strong. So a lot of people who just don't believe this rally is gonna keep going. But I think after the Chinese announcement, that could be a nice squeeze on some shorts there, or just some regret from longs taking profit. Support, it's just going to be the last low. I want to give it some room now. So for here, it's going to be 38 bucks on GDX. Resistance, might as well make it the absolute high, 42. Right, and then we could do that in 1 or 2 days. One very good day, 2 decent days, and then up we go. Where are we going next on GDX? Bam, we're making new moves, like stuff we haven't seen in 2 years or something. So it could be very, very good. Very nice moves, and GDX will lead the way, just like gold's leading the way, and then the rest will take over, like SILJ and silver will just start to outperform. All right, now let's look at the portfolio. All right, so here we go. Newmont looks pretty similar to GDX. You can see on the ascending, it lost it just a little bit, but actually on a daily close basis, those candles pretty much held the ascending here. But anyway, up we go, pretty much following GDX. I think we're one or two. Well, one very good, but yeah, one decent, not even a very good, decent day away from testing its old highs. 2 average up days, and we're up. So this totally in line with gold and even silver. But yeah, gold and the GDX, I would say, it's really in line. And we know it's strong. It's got nothing but good news behind it. It is nowhere near its 52, old all-time highs, nowhere near. So this thing can really run. It's got every excuse, and I expect it to do that. I think if gold starts hitting 2,700 new highs, this thing will be basically running for 60 quite quickly. So gold looks great. Again, like everything else, the old support will be here. That one will be too close, and then we'll see. Then it'll probably be this ascending if we start to lose it. But again, if you start to retest, I don't see this happening early next week, but if you start to retest, and this goes for everything. If we start to retest the old lows that we put in 3 days ago, let's say, you're going to flush quite a bit. For gold, for the miners, it's going to be like a double top or head and shoulders for some of them. But you know what I mean? This neckline gets breached on a daily close. Like this one would be a close below 52 or at least 51.80, whatever this is. Bam, you go to 50 at least, maybe lower. But for me, the immediate uh interest would be the nearest resistance, which is up here. All right, Barrick Gold. Yeah, this one didn't count. So I'm going to move this up. It's there. This is irrelevant. So resistance, this is also irrelevant. Let's clean it up. Resistance, well, you've obviously got the old high you put in Friday, but that goes without saying. It's really the old highs up here, close above 21. But you know what? Because of what happened on this candle here, I'm going to say up here, 21.20. That's what you really want to close above. And then you can run gold. But, and I think they had some, is it true? Some sort of a fine they had to pay for the Mali government, something like that. I read. Could explain why recently it's not as strong, but it's not that big an impact actually on the chart. Otherwise, it's had very good news behind it. But this, like Newmont, even more so than Newmont, just so far away from its old highs. Look where we are. We're here. Can't even tell where you are. Even if you're at 22 or at 16, it's kind of the same thing. So far, and we have taken out the descending long ago, with news. We've taken out the horizontal over here, this sort of 20, 21 zone. This is supposed to be in a slow motion squeeze. And yeah, we need to get at least up here 21.20. So I'm just going to keep it simple. The low over here, 19.30, 21.20. Let's see what happens. This candle was not great. It was red on a day where, gold is at 1% plus. So yeah, not great. Needs to really clear 21.20. You need gold above 2,700. It's kind of strange that it hasn't really ran. And I expect this one to be one of the big seniors that really outperforms a lot. Anyway, keep it simple for now. Agnico-Eagle, thankfully, I haven't added to Barrick Gold or even Newmont. I don't mind Newmont, but Barrick Gold I haven't added to in some time. I've got enough as it is, like over 5K. Let's leave it there. Agnico-Eagle, this one has probably been the best performing senior overall. Newmont's probably outperformed it more recently, but I think overall, Agnico-Eagle, really good. Now here, let's clean it up. That doesn't count. This, well, I guess you could say Friday's high is resistance. It kind of flushed its ascending, but that's because it was too tight. And then it came down to its horizontal. So that kind of made sense. So that remains the 76.5, let's say. That's your support. The ascending, you know what? I can get rid of it. It actually doesn't really count anymore. So resistance is going to be the old high on Friday up here, 80.5, let's say. After that, it's just going to be the old highs because if you're starting to move up here, it means gold and the miners are going for their old highs. So you might as well keep Agnico-Eagle resistance to its highs, which is how far away from where it is now? 7%. That's 2 decent days away or 1 extremely good day. I can't imagine 7% without news. Otherwise, the low is going to be the old one. And then if we flush that, bam, down we go to... Yeah, I'll leave both in. I don't actually know whether it's going to consider this, resistance support or it's going to be down here, but maybe 70 actually. I feel like it'd be quite a flush for the miners if we start to breach the prior support. Again, I don't see that happening early next week. So let's keep it simple. Next, Pan American Silver. That one looks okay. Again, you've got to close at low of day, down almost 1% on a day where silver's up 1%. It's not great, but the chart looks good, especially after this beautiful day here. That Thursday was just magnificent. Quite a good few amount of silver stocks performed quite well there. But yeah, rejected here. The resistance, which is the old high up here. I'm just going to move that up now, make it pretty much 23. This I don't see. I'm sorry, but if you're starting to move up here, you're going for the old highs. So let's keep it simple. This I will move up. For me, it's going to be 20.75 is your support. If you lose that, you do actually have this nearby horizontal, which coincides with the ascending. So in this case, it will look a bit different to the other seniors we just covered. But again, you got to watch out. You probably got gold breaching clear levels, so it might keep flushing. But in the immediate future, I still see the upside as the path of least resistance. So let's watch 23, and then let's watch the old high up here of 24.30, let's say. That could be done. How long? Let's see that. You have a nice big move, 8%. That's one very good day or two decent days. Probably two decent days for that. Next is Wheaton. Again, it's only down 0.5%, but still, that's not a great candle. Let's get rid of this. Let's clean it up. Definitely don't need that much support and resistance. It's really going to be here. The thing is here, if we start testing this old horizontal support, you're going to be breaching the ascending. So actually, if you start to come down here, you've lost this ascending, and let's be honest, you're coming down here to probably breach it, just like all the others. So got to keep that in mind. I'm just going to leave it like that. Your resistance, yeah, it's going to be the old high of Friday. Clear, right? Very clear. And then the old, 52-week high up here. So that's Wheaton. But Wheaton, you can expect to just track gold, basically. Just got to watch that, if there's some sort of a surprise. Again, I don't expect it to happen, but you're going to have a lot of miners flushing, and I'm in quite heavy. I really hope this keeps going. I need to lighten although by the time it gets up here, it's going to look really strong. So I say that once we start, I really do think we're going to make new highs, obviously, which is why I've been chasing the top, which I never do. But once we do, I'm going to start trimming quickly. It's, be a bit too greedy to hold on a bit too long. Right, Franco Nevada just has serious issues breaking out of a zone. 130 is just, it's far from testing out. So this one, that is its high of, the last, I'm going to say 52 weeks. It might not be, but you know what I mean? The high of this sort of huge rally we've had. Franco Nevada underperforming, and even now, like in the last couple of weeks, also underperforming, I would say. To be honest, to take out 130, it needs to travel quite a lot, 6% roughly, which for Franco Nevada is one extremely good day or two decent days. So I guess it's in line with the others, but seriously needs to take out 130 and run a bit like Metalla, which is our next one. So support, sorry, for Franco would be down here. I'm going to remove this. It did kind of count a little bit, but let's just leave it like this. That's the high it needs to take out Franco Nevada. Friday's high, and then it can run. So, and yeah, this zone of 130, that's what it needs. And by the way, if we take out this on support, it's going to flush way more than that. So we'll go straight back down to the old 114. Okay, Metalla. This one's exciting. So this one started to outperform over here. It broke out, I think, before others did. Held quite well. Normally it would have flushed and gone all the way back down. Remember where we are. This thing has seriously underperformed for a long, long time. It's a well-liked stocked by some decent people, as far as I can tell anyway. And it's completely underperformed. So let's just adjust this ascending. I think it still counts. Look at that move on Thursday. I don't even know if it was on news. It must have been because, okay, everyone did well, but I feel like it was sort of strong and then it just squeezed. And I've said that this is a squeeze one. To be fair, I've said squeeze about a few, but this one, ever since taking out this descending, and it did squeeze on this descending breakout. And then the next one is the horizontal. It's kind of unknown where it really does lie. The horizontal, was it 330? Was it 340 or 350? But here you can tell Thursday was one of those get out of my way. I don't care where you think resistance is. What it really needed to do was take out 360, but it closed above 350, which is good enough. And to be honest, Friday, which was a horrible day for not horrible, but they were down 1% or something, whilst the metals were up 1%. This one at least was green, and it took out 365, the old high. Didn't close above it, but I think it's as good as the close above. So Metalla squeeze is ongoing. If we have some sort of a gold rally Monday, Tuesday, Metalla will run to 4. So for me, resistance, I can get rid of all this stuff. It's way past where it's already gone. So its resistance, let's be honest, is the old high. Not even 365, it's 375. This stuff is just irrelevant. Support is going to now be the ascending. I don't see it going all the way back there. In fact, I think you can get rid of all the other ones. This descending breakout has happened now. We can even get rid of that. And I'm just going to move this up to there. That's what I'm going to do. Even the ascending is not relevant. That's it. I'll leave this in case there's some surprise monster flush, which will never happen. But I'm just, okay, support down there. The low of the week, 315, let's say. And the high to take out is your 375-ish. But basically, if we're taking that out, we're going all the way to 4. So finally, we're talking about Metalla at 4. And then it's like the page has been turned, and then we can start looking towards, 455, etc. So Metalla looks amazing. By far the biggest mover of the week, especially on Thursday. Okay, now the silver stocks. And these are the ones that are exciting. First of all, First Majestic. So support, very clear. It's down here. I mean, that was quite clear for the whole week. Just below 6. Probably 6 now, to be honest, because it's like a creeping ascending here. If you want to be a bit precise, right? So it's probably going to be about there if we do come down. Not too hastily. Again, if we're going to flush, if gold flushes and we take out those important, we could see it come down. But what a buy would be down here. If we flush this 590 zone, technically it'll probably get flushed and everyone gets used to just selling First Majestic. But remember, we got some serious good news here. I think, what was it, Gato and buybacks? Like you take advantage. For that reason, even if we flush the ascending, I think we go to horizontal and we hold. Now, we are also encountering this descending resistance quite clearly, in my opinion. Right? I'm always bad at drawing this, so I'll take it away straight away. But you know what I mean? I mean, look at that, even here. So I'm going to move this resistance to take into account the time element, not just the price, but the time. It's now there, right? So it used to be sort of 680. Now it's pretty much 670. So what you want to see is basically a close above this high. As soon as you take out the descending, the next one is a horizontal. Well, basically up close above 676 or whatever the high was. Let's say 680 to be completely sure. And you're off to 760, in my opinion, as long as you've got the backing of the metal and everything else. But this is good. This has been crushed, right? Overall crushed. It's got very good news just behind it. It's in a silver bull market, and we're talking about silver squeeze. So this one, you take out 680 and silver's taken out 32.50, 33. Forget about it. You get to 850 real fast. This will surprise people, in my opinion. So that's the resistance I'm looking at. I really want a 680 close. Obviously, if we take out 688 or whatever the high was over here, that's even better. I don't see much resistance until 760. Then you got the next one, 8, where you see the horizontals. And I've just covered the support. So First Majestic, I'm quite heavy in that one for the reasons I just stipulated. Next one, Fortuna. This one does not have as good news behind it. We've got all this, Mexican, the Mexican jurisdiction, so annoying. Having to have this variable, to include within your thesis. I hate it. But anyway, the chart looks pretty clean. The ascending is, hitting each pivot point quite well. That was the buy. I added here, not as much as I did the others, but I added because of the technicals. It bounced. Obviously, I needed silver to be on my side for that. Friday, not great, but at least it was green. Let's keep it simple. Support is going to be the ascending. If you start to see it come all the way back down and we close below, just like everything else, watch it flush. Probably worth stepping out the way because of the silver problem. I would actually probably be inclined to delete this and watch it come all the way down here, actually. And then you'll have to wait and see. Depends how much damage there is to gold and silver, because you could have this cascade affecting gold, because it's, I don't know, you could see gold come down a bit, and you know how miners are really, really sensitive, and you don't want to add too much too quickly if it's going to take a while to repair the chart. And this one is, again, ascending, remember, is one of the weakest, is the weakest chart pattern. So what you want to see is really, so that's your support covered, right? So 440, pretty much just above 440. I would normally say here 415-ish. There may be a small bounce, but I wouldn't be buying there. That's why I removed the horizontal. I'd be more inclined to buy here because of the flush potential in the general metals. On the way up, though, you've got clear resistance here. Let's call it 515, which is a weird number. Okay, it is what it is, 515 or whatever it is, give or take 1 cent. And once it takes out 515 and closes above that, then the chart looks really good. The ascending is now out of the way, and we're talking about a breakout play. And then you've got the horizontals, pre-gap fill, post-gap fill, and then old 52-week highs. Very clear resistance. So that's how I'm looking at the support and resistance. Next one is my absolute favorite, CDE, which was not that strong, but it makes sense. It was encountering resistance, which we already had in place. So this resistance there. Okay, here it took it out completely, but it kind of counted on this day and then it did again on Friday. So resistance is, go on, let's move this up. It's not going to count. 660. Then we're in the gap zone. Wow, that's cheating if I have that so big. Let's do 660. Gap fill at 680. There's only 20 cents there. And then it's going to be the all-time high. Obviously, there was acquisition here, Silvercrest. I think it was a lot of people agree that it was quite a good acquisition by CD. I'm not going to pretend that I know all this financials. I don't look into it too much. I think Silvercrest was a very good mine. It's going to be good reserves, good lifeline for CDE, which has got a lot of debt, but CDE I absolutely love. I think overall, I don't care too much about the details. For me, it was a good deal. CDE was doing very, very well before. So that should mean we visit the old highs, especially if silver goes up. So for me, I'm looking at the highs to take out. I'm looking at the technicals. So for me, 660, 680, and then bam, 770 on the way up. On the way down, and I have to be cognizant of the potential. It's going to be $6. Very, very obvious, right? It's the old low, big round number. Also, you close below $6. I mean, it's not going to be good. Straight away gap fill, forget about it. And then you're going to have the ascending. I should really have these in. I mean, I know it, but. And then you have the ascending, which is pretty clear also. But CDE, if you're going to have a big flush in the metals too, it could really hit quite a lot on the downside. It's had a great move up, but it could have a nice move down. And you know what? I'm even gonna, it's obvious anyway, but I'm even gonna put this one in. I do not want that to happen, but I am aware that it could happen. Then it's just a huge buy. But yeah, it wasn't very, very strong. It was basically unchanged, but that's like the others. If we have gold and silver just screaming up, this could easily start trading back in the sevens. And once you're in the sevens, you're just one day away from the old highs because CD really moves. But the chart is a bit weak. We need that. We need it to be back above 680. Hecla. Okay, a bit like all the others, right? That's like the SILJ candle. It's still trading within this tight range, bounced perfectly, bit like gold and silver itself. So you can see these, and this was, it's obvious now, but it was obvious then, and that's why I added there. This was resistance, bam, bam, bam. That's why this was support, and you had ascending. This is kind of the best chart out there. Now resistance, well, I'm going to move it here. It's going to be Friday's high. That was that week's high. Friday, Thursday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, this is the week before. 680, close above 680. Bam, we're testing the old highs of 740 the next day. And then after that, I don't think this really, I'm going to delete that. It's just once you take out 750, you're going to go to a bigger move than 770, that's for sure. So yeah, that's it really, right? Otherwise, we're going to be testing support on the way down. Go on. So that's your resistance, 680, then it's the old high, and then we don't care. It's just running. This is your support. It's still going to be your support. Let's move that up. It's going to be the ascending. And then if we lose that, it's going to be here. And then who knows, all the way back down there, actually. So I might just move something there. That's it. That's Hecla. EXK. EXK is really impressive. bad news, down it goes. It just goes up weaker than the others. And then since then, it's just sort of popped. And I don't think there's been any news. And it's held its ground quite well. Even green on that weak Friday. It is what it is. I guess silver prices going up really helps its case. So resistance is up there. So resistance is just going to be 450, a close above 450, and you're testing the next two levels, which are pretty close. 10% until you're hitting the old highs of $5, which I really thought we wouldn't hit again, unless we had a big silver move, which I guess we've had. And if we have silver squeezing 33, I can't believe it, but EXK is going to start moving up to 580, which is really impressive given the absolute flash crashes it's had. I mean, look at this, not flash crash, but just a slow descent into nothingness. 140 all the way to 5, all the way back down to 2. I mean, that's literally down 50%, all the way back up to 5 and then higher. I mean, impressive story. What a swing trade. Now, on the way down, that's hard to call. Where's your support? Well, I'm going to say $4 just because it's a round number, and that's where you got quite a lot of support. So $4, you close below 4, you're probably going to go down more than 20 cents. Yeah. And the time element, you're probably going to hit the ascending. So let's do something like that. You never know. It could really do it. It moves a lot. Those are all the levels I'm seeing. Next one, Mag Silver. This one is probably the strongest silver stock out there. Made a new high on Friday. Thursday had a breakout. It had no bad news in all this period. It had one piece of good news, but just came back down with the with the general sector. So where's your resistance? Well, it's going to be Friday's high, which is $16. Very nice. Where's going to be your support? Well, I think it's not going to go down here because of the good news and the nice momentum it's got, but I'm going to say $14. If we flush that, then this still is correct, but really it's all about the upside. We take out 16, we go to 17. End of story. Nice and simple. Those are lines I already had. And that's what I see on the chart. And that's psychologically what I would agree with. After that, 18, it could go a bit higher than 18. But yeah, next up, 17 if we take out 16, which sounds simple, but I don't even think it's that much to ask for. That's 10% from where we are. But if we take out 16, from 16 to 17, 5, 6%. Yeah, silver squeeze would do it. Okay, next one is Aris Mining. That was a strange candle, but we bounced from there. Okay, this is now relevant. This is irrelevant. Friday's high is your level. The ascending is gone. This, we've broken out of it, even if it counted. Okay, first of all, if we retest, it's going to be 420. If that's lost, but you have to give it some room because it's a bit illiquid and there's a big spread between bid and ask. But, if we lose 410, let's say, then we flush. Where do we flush to? It's between 380 and 365. Let's do 380 in case you miss it. On the way up, yes, it's going to be the old high. I mean, last week's high, this week's high, 455. Close above that. Yeah, these two. It's a hard one to call, this one. Didn't expect it to come down that much after making new highs, but yeah, I don't have that much in this one. I think I've taken out a lot where it is roughly, so I don't really care if it goes down or up from here. I prefer up though. Next one, I am gold. This one, bam, down it went. Down it went. And we bounced, we filled the gap. So it wasn't this one. Actually it was, and then we filled the gap perfectly. So where's your resistance? It's Friday's high. It's $5. It's psychological. It's clear. Where's your low? It's down here. It's 445. That's very clear. If we take out 5, I don't think there's any point in having 530. I think we're talking about visiting the old highs where I expect a lot of resistance. After that, $6. Yeah, that's it. Just 3 horizontals, 1, 2, 3. If we flush this, then yeah, a retest bit descending, which probably is about $4. Well, by the time it does it, it's probably going to be 380 something. Yeah, I agree with all that. Next, B2 Gold. Very nice. So we tested it. This was clear resistance. It was strong resistance, and it was strong enough to push it back down again. We're talking about very, very long-term descending resistance after a breakout on good news. So you buy the drop, which I don't think I did because I was buying everything else, silver stocks. I'm not sure if I bought B2 Gold. I don't even think I did, but I hold a very good amount, so no worries. Why did it bounce from there? I don't know. Was that a level? I don't think so, but now it is. So if we come back down just to cover the support, that's going to be your level, basically $3, right? Why wait at 297 in case it ends up bouncing at 302? So I'm just going to leave it there around 3. This I can just delete. If it starts to lose this, I think it will fill the gap. I probably go just before the gap will actually go on. Let's be extra precise. Yeah, so that's it. $3, go on. $3. Let's just be absolutely clean about everything. Then you got 290, same thing. Then you got the gap fill. I'm not going to bother with anything down here. We're not going there. Otherwise, more realistically, especially given Friday's nice close, right? Up almost 3%. That's very good. I don't even think it was on any news. So next up really is going to be 330. If we take that out, it's going to be the old 340. If we close above 340, bam, we are moving 380, 390. And this is a squeeze, a bit like Metalla. It's just going to squeeze. In fact, it's undergoing a squeeze, I would say. Just had a retracement. It's all about 340. It's all about a close above 340. This is looking extremely bullish. Next is Equinox. Not that strong looking. A candle like all the others. At least it was green. Resistance is going to be $6. Friday's high. Very clear. After that, we're talking about 650, 10% higher pretty much. Very clear. A takeout of 650 on a daily close, and that looks so strong. That's like a triple top breakout. Bam, we will run straight past 7, to be honest. So Equinox almost looks good. At the moment, looks okay. Support, not there, not there. 550, it really works in 50-cent increments. We close below that, down we flush to strong support zone, which is between 5 and 520. We've been there before. There was only one time where we flushed it and we bought that. So I'm just going to say up here. But remember, if we're flushing, that's probably because gold's just losing 2,600, and then, then you got a bit of a flush. So it might actually go below $5 at that point. But I'll leave this anyway. So quite simple for now. Go on, I'll put a little yellow marker there. And even here, because that ascending is pretty reliable. You know what I mean? I'd expect it. I'd expect to bounce before we hit 450, put it that way. SSRM, this one looks good. Green also. 2%. We don't care about this. The descending, to be honest, we don't really care about. We've already retested it. This we don't care about. This, wow, maybe we did before. So resistance is here, which is the line I just took out, by the way. So let's just replace that. This note, we take out 590, close above it. Then we're going straight to test 620. It's all about a 620 something close. And then we're just running 50-cent increments, 650, 7, 750, 8, etc. If we flush for a surprise reason, it's 540. And if we flush that, because gold is absolutely cascading, then it's the old 480. And yeah, we'll leave it for there. I don't see it happening. This looks super strong. I mean, we've tested this zone. It looks very weak, but we made this. It was this part here. It was this candle here that really said we are done with the lows. We made new highs. We just retraced, but a nice bounce here. And if we can take this out, it's just going to have to run. You've given the shorts every chance to really screw the chart up. And at every point, it's just found enough buying. And now the chart looks really good, especially up here. And you've got all the catalysts and all the bad news behind it. So this one could really squeeze. Run. Maybe not squeeze, run. Okay. SBSW. This is an absolute killer when it comes to the technicals. Down here it went. I remember buying this zone up. We took out this descending, which we've just retested. I'm going to leave it in because we're retesting it now. We filled the gap. Need to clean up the levels. Okay. The old high up here is a level. Yeah, I'm going to try and do that. So there's your resistance. I could have just dragged this one. Then you got the next resistance up here. Then you got the old high up there. Your support is still this level. It's pretty much at this level, actually. And if we lose that, then we're going to go visit the old lows. That's it. Just let the chart do its thing. I'm long. I've got like 3K in this, which is a decent amount for this very dodgy high risk one. So I'm happy just holding 3, and who knows, could end up being worth quite a lot if I don't sell too much and it starts to make a big move. Platinum, palladium, copper, gold, silver. This is a multi-metal. Okay, that will do. Let's see what happens next week. It could be early fireworks and it'll be a quick new video on the portfolio update because some of these will look really good. I think it's a real shame that Friday they were subdued, especially whilst the market was doing good, the metals were doing good. It was kind of anticlimactic and almost a little counterintuitive because these have been performing so well. And you had the metals, the markets up, and they were just basically sideways day when they should have been really good. Maybe it was a breather, and hopefully, if it was a breather, they got all the oxygen they need because I need them to run a bit more. I'm pretty heavy in this, and I wasn't happy to see them just take a breather, but I can kind of understand. All right, let's see what happens. I think we go up quickly early next week, and I think this Friday stimulus news, I probably should know. I saw reports Friday night or Saturday, and for that reason, I don't think it was priced into the Friday market regular hours action, which means Monday, Tuesday, especially Monday, we zoom up. It's not like we're 24-hour market. If it was crypto, then we would see a reaction already. But all right, let's see what happens. Let me know, like, comment, subscribe, share, all that stuff. But otherwise, have a good weekend.